The grand hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement. Aliens of all shapes and sizes filled the room. Some had tentacles, others had multiple eyes, and a few even floated in the air. They all shared one thing. They thought humans were a joke. In the center of the room stood Ambassador Chen. He represented Earth and all of humanity. Chen was tall and stood straight, but his face showed worry. He knew what was coming. "Order! Order!" shouted the council leader, a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms. The room got quiet. Today we discussed the newest members of our galactic community, the humans. Laughter filled the room. Chen's face turned red, but he said nothing. A thin green alien with a long neck spoke up. "Ah yes, the humans. They think they're so special because they reached the stars." More laughter followed. "Tell us, Ambassador Chen," the green alien continued, "how many light years can your best ship travel in a day?" 2. Maybe 3 if you're lucky. Chen opened his mouth to answer, but another alien cut him off. This one looked like a giant caterpillar. "Oh, don't be so hard on them," it said in a mocking tone. "I hear their ships can go a whole week without breaking down now." The room erupted in laughter again. Chen's hands formed fists at his sides, but he kept quiet. A small round alien that looked like a purple beach ball bounced forward. "I visited Earth last cycle," it said. "Their cities are so primitive. They still use fossil fuels for some things. Can you believe it?" The council leader raised 2 of his 4 hands for silence. Now, he said, trying to sound serious but failing. "We must remember that humans are, what's the word? Ah yes, special." More laughter. Chen's face was now as red as a tomato. "Ambassador Chen," the council leader said, "perhaps you'd like to tell us about your military. I hear it's quite impressive." Chen knew this was his chance. He stepped forward, took a deep breath, and began to speak. "The human military is..." But before he could finish, a tall bird-like alien squawked loudly. "Oh please, I've seen their ships. They're like children's toys compared to ours." The caterpillar alien joined in again. "Yes, and their weapons. Do they still use gunpowder?" Chen tried to speak again, but nobody listened. The mockery continued. "I heard they still have wars on their own planet. Their soldiers wear such bulky armor. How do they even move? Their battle strategies must be from the Stone Age." The insults kept coming. Chen stood there, taking it all. But inside, he was smiling. If only they knew, he thought. As the laughter died down, the council leader spoke again. "Well, Ambassador Chen, it seems our members have some concerns about your military capabilities. Do you have anything to say?" Chen looked around the room. Every alien face showed either mockery or pity. He took a deep breath and said, "The human military is stronger than you think. One day, you'll see." This caused another round of laughter. The blue-skinned council leader wiped a tear from one of his eyes. "Oh, Ambassador," he said between chuckles, "you humans and your imagination. It's almost cute." As Chen walked back to his seat, he heard more insults. "Stronger than we think. Ha! Maybe they found a really big stick to fight with. Perhaps they've trained some of their Earth animals for battle. Watch out for the scary dogs and cats. Next, they'll say they have a super-secret weapon that can destroy planets." The mockery continued for hours. Chen sat silently, listening to every word. On the outside, he looked defeated, but inside, he was counting down the days. "Just wait," he thought. "Our day will come. And when it does, no one will be laughing." As the meeting ended, Chen walked out with his head held high. The other aliens gave him looks of amusement or pity, but Chen didn't care. He had a call to make. Back in his private chamber, Chen activated his secure communication device. A hologram appeared, showing a stern-faced military general. "How did it go?" the general asked. Chen allowed himself a small smile. "Exactly as we expected, General. They suspect nothing. The general nodded. Good. Project Dreadnought is almost complete. Soon, the galaxy will learn not to underestimate humanity. As Chen ended the call, he looked out at the stars. The aliens thought humans were weak, primitive, and laughable. But they would learn. Oh, how they would learn. The day of reckoning was coming, and humanity would have the last laugh. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a hidden facility unknown to most of humanity, a hive of activity buzzed day and night. This was the heart of Project Dreadnought, Earth's answer to the galaxy's mockery. Dr. Sarah Chen, Ambassador Chen's sister, walked briskly through the facility's main hall. Workers in lab coats and protective gear rushed past her, each focused on their crucial tasks. The air hummed with the sound of heavy machinery and excited chatter. Sarah reached a massive steel door. She placed her hand on a scanner, and the door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside was a sight that would make any alien's jaw drop, if they had jaws. A colossal spaceship filled the enormous underground hangar. It was sleek yet powerful, with a design unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. This was humanity's secret weapon, the Dreadnought. Dr. Chen, a voice called out. Sarah turned to see her lead engineer, Mike, jogging towards her. We've just finished the final tests on the quantum drive. It's performing beyond our wildest dreams. Sarah's eyes lit up. Show me the results, she said, following Mike to a nearby computer terminal. As they walked, Sarah marveled at the ship's exterior. Its hull was made of a new alloy, stronger than anything Earth had produced before. The weapons systems were hidden beneath smooth panels, giving no hint of the destructive power they held. Mike pulled up a series of graphs on the screen. Look at these figures, he said, pointing excitedly. We're achieving faster-than-light travel at speeds the aliens think are impossible for us. We can cross the galaxy in days, not years. Sarah nodded, a small smile on her face. And the stealth systems. Working perfectly, Mike replied. We're practically invisible to all known detection methods. We could park this thing right next to an alien ship, and they'd never know we were there. As they talked, a group of technicians walked by, carefully carrying what looked like a glowing blue orb. Sarah and Mike paused to watch. Ah, the heart of our power system, Sarah said softly. Who would have thought that harnessing zero-point energy would be the key? Mike chuckled. Certainly not the aliens. They're still using dilithium crystals and think they're hot stuff. Sarah's face grew serious. Remember, Mike, overconfidence is what got them into this mess. We won't make the same mistake. Just then, Sarah's communicator beeped. It was a message from her brother, the ambassador. The Galactic Council meeting had gone exactly as planned. The aliens still saw humans as a joke. Sarah turned to Mike, her eyes gleaming with determination. We're right on schedule. The galaxy thinks we're centuries behind them, but little do they know, we're light years ahead. She walked over to a railing, looking out over the massive ship. Workers swarmed around it like bees, putting the finishing touches on humanity's masterpiece. Soon, Sarah said, more to herself than to Mike, very soon, they'll see what humanity is truly capable of, and they'll never underestimate us again. Mike nodded, standing beside her. It's almost hard to believe, he said. In just a few years, we've gone from a species barely able to reach our own moon to this. He gestured at the Dreadnought. Sarah smiled. That's the beauty of human ingenuity, Mike. When our backs are against the wall, when everyone thinks we're down and out, that's when we shine the brightest. She turned to face the bustling facility, filled with some of Earth's brightest minds working tirelessly towards a common goal. Every person here knows what's at stake, Sarah continued. It's not just about proving the aliens wrong. It's about securing humanity's place in the galaxy. After this, no one will dare threaten Earth or its colonies ever again. As if on cue, a loud cheer erupted from one end of the hangar. Sarah and Mike rushed over to see what was happening. A team of engineers was celebrating. They'd just successfully tested the ship's main weapon, a device that could alter the very fabric of space-time. Sarah felt a surge of pride. This was human persistence and creativity at its finest. The aliens thought Earth was a backwater planet full of primitive apes. They were about to learn how wrong they were. As she watched her team celebrate, Sarah's communicator beeped again. It was another message from her brother. Council still clueless. How soon can you be ready? Sarah looked at the Dreadnought, then at her hardworking team. She typed a quick reply. Final tests underway. We'll be ready to shock the galaxy very, very soon. The stage was set. Humanity's moment was almost here. And the Galactic Council had no idea what was coming. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was packed once again. Aliens of all shapes and sizes filled the room, chattering excitedly. Today was no ordinary meeting. The humans had called for a special session, claiming they had an important announcement to make. Ambassador Chen stood at the center of the room, his face calm but his eyes twinkling with hidden excitement. Beside him stood his sister, Dr. Sarah Chen, looking sharp in her formal Earth uniform. The council leader, the blue-skinned, four-armed alien, called for order. Silence, please. We are here at the request of the Earth delegation. Ambassador Chen, you have the floor. Chen stepped forward, his voice clear and strong. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we have called this meeting to unveil a new addition to Earth's defense force. A ripple of laughter spread through the crowd. The caterpillar-like alien from the previous meeting spoke up. Oh, how delightful. Have you perhaps invented a slightly larger cannon? Chen ignored the jibe. We would like to introduce you to the culmination of Earth's technological advancement. Behold, the Dreadnought. With a flourish, Chen activated a holographic projector. A massive image appeared in the center of the hall, showing a sleek, powerful spaceship unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. At first, there was silence. Then, predictably, laughter erupted. Surely, this is a joke. The bird-like alien squawked. No way humans could build something like that. The purple beach ball alien bounced in agreement. It must be a computer simulation. Quite impressive for primitives, I must say. Chen let them laugh. He had expected this reaction. When the noise died down, he spoke again. This is no simulation. The Dreadnought is very real, and it is currently in orbit around this very planet. This statement caused an uproar. Aliens were shouting, some in disbelief, others in anger. The council leader had to use all four arms to bang his gavel for order. Ambassador Chen, the leader said, his voice stern, these are serious claims. Do you have proof of this? Dreadnought's existence. Chen nodded to his sister. Dr. Sarah Chen stepped forward, holding a small device. If I may, she said, her voice calm and professional. This is a live feed from the Dreadnought's external cameras. She activated the device, and suddenly the hologram changed. It now showed a real-time view of the planet from orbit. Gasps filled the room as aliens recognized their own ships, docked at the planet's space stations. Impossible, someone shouted. Our sensors would have detected a ship that size approaching. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Dreadnought is equipped with advanced stealth technology. It arrived 3 days ago, completely undetected. The council chamber erupted into chaos. Aliens were shouting, some in fear, others in anger. Many were frantically checking their own devices, trying to locate this phantom ship. The council leader, looking shaken, raised all four hands for silence. Ambassador Chen, Dr. Chen, what is the meaning of this? Is this some kind of threat? Chen shook his head. Not at all. This is a demonstration. For too long, humanity has been mocked and underestimated. Today, we show you what we're truly capable of. Sarah took over. The Dreadnought represents the pinnacle of human engineering and scientific advancement. Its quantum drive can cross the galaxy in days. Its weapons systems, well, let's just say they're beyond anything currently known to the Council. The room was silent now, every alien face showing a mixture of shock and fear. Chen spoke again, his voice firm. We come in peace, as we always have, but we will no longer tolerate being treated as lesser beings. Earth and humanity are ready to take their rightful place in galactic affairs. He paused, looking around the room. We challenge any species here to bring forth their most advanced ship. Let's see how it compares to the Dreadnought. For a long moment, no one spoke. The aliens looked at each other, then back at the hologram of the massive Earth ship. The council leader, his blue skin now pale, cleared his throat. I believe we owe the humans an apology, he said quietly. Perhaps it's time we reconsidered Earth's position in the galactic community. As murmurs of agreement spread through the chamber, Chen and Sarah exchanged a small smile. Phase 1 of their plan was complete. Humanity had made its statement. The galaxy would never be the same again. The news of Earth's Dreadnought spread through the galaxy like wildfire. On every planet, in every space station, aliens talked about the humans and their incredible ship. Many were scared. Some were angry. A few were excited. But on one planet, the reaction was different. This was Zortek, home of the Zorticians, known for their advanced technology and powerful warships. They had always seen themselves as the greatest military force in the galaxy. In a massive war room, General Kraz, the supreme commander of the Zortician fleet, paced back and forth. His scaly skin was a dark shade of red, showing his anger. Impossible, he roared. These primitive humans cannot have surpassed us. His advisors cowered before him. One brave soul spoke up. But sir, the reports from the Galactic Council are lies, Kraz interrupted, or exaggerations. These humans are trying to scare us with smoke and mirrors. He stopped pacing and turned to face a giant screen showing their latest battleship, the Star Destroyer. It was huge, bristling with weapons. We will show these humans what real power looks like. Meanwhile, back on Earth, preparations were underway. The Dreadnought hung in orbit, its crew running final checks on all systems. Inside the ship's bridge, Captain Maria Rodriguez looked out at the stars. She had trained for years for this moment. Now, she would lead humanity's greatest ship into its first battle. Status report, she called out. Her first officer, Lieutenant Zhang, responded quickly. All systems green, Captain. Quantum drive at full power. Weapons charge. Shields at maximum. Rodriguez nodded. And our special projects. Zhang smiled. The space-time disruptor is ready, and Project Phantom is good to go. Excellent, Rodriguez said. She turned to her communications officer. Any word from the Galactic Council? The officer nodded. Yes, Captain. The Zorticians have accepted our challenge. They're sending their best ship, the Star Destroyer. A murmur ran through the bridge. Everyone had heard of the Star Destroyer. It was said to be unbeatable. Rodriguez smiled. Well, folks, looks like we get to make history twice. First, we shocked the galaxy by simply existing. Now, we're going to show them what we can really do. Back on Zortek, General Kraz was briefing his best crew. Listen up, he growled. This human ship may look impressive, but it's probably all for show. Hit them hard and fast. Show no mercy. The Zortician crew cheered. They were confident. After all, they had the best technology, the most experience. How could they lose to a bunch of primitive humans? As both ships prepared for battle, the rest of the galaxy watched and waited. Every planet, every species had chosen a side to root for. On a distant space station, a group of aliens huddled around a view screen. An announcer's voice came through. In just a few hours, the greatest space battle in galactic history will begin. On one side, the Zortician Star Destroyer, pride of the most advanced military force we've ever known. On the other, Earth's mysterious Dreadnought, a ship that appeared out of nowhere and changed everything. The announcer paused for effect. Who will win? The established power or the upstart humans? The fate of the galaxy may depend on the outcome. Stay tuned for live coverage of this historic event. As the news spread, billions of beings across the galaxy prepared to watch. In homes, in public squares, in the halls of power, everyone waited with bated breath. On the Dreadnought, Captain Rodriguez addressed her crew one last time. Remember your training. Remember why we're here. We carry the hopes and dreams of every human. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can do. On the Star Destroyer, General Kraz snarled his final orders. Crush them. Destroy them. Leave nothing behind. Both ships moved into position. The crew on each was tense, ready for action. Years of preparation, centuries of history, had led to this moment. The greatest space battle in galactic history was about to begin. The vastness of space seemed to hold its breath. Two massive ships faced each other, hanging against the backdrop of distant stars. On one side, the Zor-Tishan Star Destroyer, its hull gleaming with weaponry. On the other, Earth's Dreadnought, sleek and mysterious. Across the galaxy, billions watched on their screens. The Galactic Council had set up a neutral observation post to broadcast the battle. No one wanted to miss this historic moment. On the Star Destroyer's bridge, General Kraz sneered at the sight of the Earth ship. "Look at that ugly thing," he growled. "Weapons, target their main engines. Let's end this quickly." His weapons officer hesitated. "Sir, shouldn't we scan them first? We don't know what defenses they have." Kraz slammed his fist on his chair. "Are you scared of these primitives? Fire." On the Dreadnought, Captain Rodriguez watched calmly as the Star Destroyer's weapons powered up. "Shields to maximum," she ordered. "But don't return fire yet. Let's see what they can do." The space between the ships lit up as the Star Destroyer unleashed its full arsenal. Lasers, plasma bolts, and antimatter missiles streaked towards the Dreadnought. The human crew held their breath. But when the barrage hit, something unexpected happened. The Dreadnought's shields flickered for a moment, absorbing the attack, then stabilized. The ship was completely unarmed. In the observation post, the alien broadcasters went wild. "Incredible," one shouted. The human ship withstood the full attack of the Star Destroyer. On the Star Destroyer, General Kraz couldn't believe his eyes. "Impossible," he roared. "Fire again. Use the planet cracker." The Star Destroyer's main weapon, a massive cannon capable of destroying small planets, began to charge. Its glow lit up space around it. Captain Rodriguez saw this and nodded to her weapons officer. "Time to show them what we can do. Activate the space-time disruptor." A strange, rippling field appeared around the Dreadnought. As the Star Destroyer fired its planet cracker, the beam seemed to bend and warp. It missed the Dreadnought entirely, streaking harmlessly into space. Gasps echoed across the galaxy. No one had ever seen anything like this before. General Kraz was furious. How are they doing this?" He turned to his engineer. "Scan that ship. I want to know every secret they have." But the engineer shook his head, looking confused. "Sir, our scans, they can't penetrate their hull. It's like the ship isn't even there." On the Dreadnought, Lieutenant John grinned. "Looks like Project Phantom is working perfectly, Captain. They can't get a read on us." Rodriguez nodded. "Good. Now let's show them our teeth. Prepare the quantum torpedoes." The Dreadnought's hull shifted, revealing hidden weapon ports. Strange, shimmering projectiles shot out, moving in ways that seemed to defy physics. The Star Destroyer tried to evade, but it was too slow. The quantum torpedoes hit their mark. Explosions rippled across the Zor-Tishan ship's hull. In the observation post, the broadcasters were going crazy. "The humans have damaged the Star Destroyer. This is unprecedented." General Kraz was in shock. His mighty ship, pride of the Zor-Tishan fleet, was wounded. "How?" he whispered. "How can they be so powerful?" On the Dreadnought, Captain Rodriguez stood tall. "Send a message to the Star Destroyer," she ordered. "Tell them we can destroy their ship at any time. Ask if they wish to surrender." As the message was sent, Silence fell across both ships. The galaxy waited, holding its collective breath. General Kraz received the message. His face twisted with rage and disbelief. But as he looked at his damaged ship, at his scared crew, he knew he had no choice. With a heavy heart, he opened a channel to the Dreadnought. "This is General Kraz of the Zor-Tishan Star Destroyer," he said, his voice heavy. We surrender." Cheers erupted on the Dreadnought. Across the galaxy, billions of beings sat in stunned silence. The impossible had happened. Humanity, once mocked and underestimated, had emerged victorious. As the news spread, one thing became clear to everyone watching. The balance of power in the galaxy had just shifted dramatically, and humanity was now at the center of it all. The news of humanity's victory spread across the galaxy faster than light. On every planet, in every space station, aliens were talking about the battle. The humans, once seen as weak and primitive, were now the most feared species in the galaxy. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted. People danced in the streets, waving flags and cheering for their heroes. The crew of the Dreadnought were welcomed home as legends. But in the halls of power, things were more serious. The Human Council, Earth's governing body, met to discuss what to do next. President Laura Chen, Ambassador Chen's cousin, addressed the council. "We've shown the galaxy our strength," she said. "Now we must show them our wisdom." Meanwhile, on the Galactic Council's main planet, emergency meetings were being held. The alien leaders were scared and confused. What should they do about the humans now? The blue-skinned, four-armed council leader spoke first. "We've made a terrible mistake in underestimating the humans," he said. "We must make peace with them before it's too late." But not everyone agreed. The bird-like aliens squawked angrily. "Peace. They'll enslave us all with their superior technology." Arguments broke out among the council members. Some wanted to declare war on humanity. Others wanted to surrender immediately. It was chaos. Back on the Dreadnought, now in orbit around Earth, Captain Rodriguez was having a quiet moment. She stood by the window, looking down at her home planet. Lieutenant Zhang approached her. "Captain," he said, "the crew is wondering. What happens now? Are we going to war with the galaxy?" Rodriguez shook her head. "No, Zhang. War was never our goal. We wanted respect, not fear. Now comes the hard part, turning enemies into friends." On Zortek, things were very different. The planet was in shock. Their mighty Star Destroyer, defeated so easily, General Kraz had been arrested for his failure. In a dark prison cell, Kraz sat alone, his head in his hands. A guard approached. "General," he said, "you have a visitor." To Kraz's surprise, Ambassador Chen walked in. The human looked at the fallen general with a mix of pity and respect. "General Kraz," Chen said, "I've come to offer you a chance at redemption." Kraz looked up, confused. "Redemption? Why would you offer me anything? I tried to destroy you." Chen smiled. "Because that's what humans do. We believe in second chances. We want to work with the Zor-Tishans, not against them. Your knowledge could help bridge our two species." As this was happening on Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen was giving a presentation to the Human Council. She showed them plans for new technologies, for ships that could explore further than ever before. "The Dreadnought was just the beginning," she said. "With what we've learned, we can push the boundaries of science even further. We can solve problems that have plagued our planet for centuries. Hunger, disease, climate change." The council members listened in awe. One of them raised a hand. "But Dr. Chen," he asked, "won't the aliens try to steal our technology?" Sarah shook her head. "No need for that. We're going to share it." Gasps filled the room. Sarah continued, "Not all of it, of course, but enough to show the galaxy that we come in peace. We'll offer to help solve problems on other worlds. We'll turn fear into gratitude, enemies into allies." As the Human Council debated this bold plan, similar discussions were happening across the galaxy. The aliens were starting to see humans in a new light. Yes, they were powerful, but they were also kind. Reports began to come in from planets where humans had made first contact. The aliens there spoke of the humans' curiosity, their desire to learn and help. It was so different from what they had expected. In the Galactic Council chamber, the mood was changing. The fear was fading, replaced by a cautious hope. Maybe, just maybe, the humans' arrival on the galactic stage wasn't a disaster. Maybe it was the beginning of a new, better era for all species. As the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what humanity would do next, one thing was clear. The days of mocking the human military were over. A new age had begun, and humanity was leading the way. 1 year had passed since the historic battle between the Dreadnought and the Star Destroyer. The galaxy had changed more in this short time than in the previous 1,000 years. Today, the Great Hall of the Galactic Council was packed. Representatives from every known species had gathered for a special session. The air buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. At the center of the hall stood Ambassador Chen, looking confident and proud. Beside him was General Kraz, the former Zor-Tishan commander, now serving as a bridge between his people and humanity. The blue-skinned, four-armed council leader called for silence. Today, he announced, "We welcome Earth as a full member of the Galactic Council. Ambassador Chen, please step forward." As Chen moved to the podium, he remembered the first time he stood in this hall, mocked and belittled. How things had changed. "Fellow beings of the galaxy," Chen began, his voice strong and clear. "A year ago, we showed you our strength. Today, we want to show you our heart." He pressed a button, and a hologram appeared in the center of the hall. It showed images from across the galaxy. Human scientists working alongside aliens to cure diseases, human engineers helping to build clean energy systems on distant planets, human teachers exchanging knowledge with alien scholars. "We could have used our power to conquer," Chen continued. "Instead, we chose to cooperate. We believe that together, we can achieve more than we ever could alone." The hall was silent, every being hanging on his words. "Today, we propose the formation of the Galactic Alliance," Chen announced. "A union of all our species, working together to solve the greatest challenges we face. United, we can explore further, discover more, and build a better future for all." As Chen spoke on Earth, the Dreadnought was being transformed. Workers swarmed over its hull, replacing weapons with scientific equipment. Captain Rodriguez watched from a nearby platform. "It feels strange," she said to Dr. Sarah Chen, who stood beside her. "I never thought our warship would become a vessel of peace." Sarah smiled. "That's the beauty of human ingenuity, Captain. We adapt. We evolve. We turn swords into plowshares." Back in the council hall, Ambassador Chen was concluding his speech. "We were once mocked for our primitive ways," he said, "but we never let that define us. We worked harder. We dreamed bigger. And now we invite you all to dream with us." He spread his arms wide. "Imagine a galaxy where no child goes hungry, where no planet suffers from pollution, where the mysteries of the universe are ours to explore together. This is the future we offer. Will you join us?" For a moment, there was silence. Then, one by one, the alien representatives stood up. Soon, the entire hall was on its feet, cheering and applauding. The council leader raised all four of his arms for quiet. "I think," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "we have our answer. The Galactic Alliance is born." As celebrations erupted across the galaxy, on a small blue planet called Earth, humans looked to the stars with new eyes. They had faced mockery, overcome challenges, and emerged not as conquerors, but as leaders and friends. President Laura Chen stood in the Oval Office, watching the live feed from the Galactic Council. She smiled as she saw her cousin, Ambassador Chen, shaking hands, and tentacles, and pincers, with the alien representatives. "Computer," she said, "send a message to all Earth citizens. The AI responded promptly. "Ready, Madam President." Laura took a deep breath. "My fellow humans," she began, "today marks the beginning of a new era. We have shown the galaxy not just our strength, but our compassion, our creativity, our unbreakable spirit." She paused, looking out the window at the sky. "We were once alone in the universe. Now we have friends among the stars. The road ahead will not be easy. There will be challenges we can't even imagine. But I know that together, with our new allies, there is nothing we cannot achieve." As her words spread across Earth and beyond, humans and aliens alike felt a sense of hope and excitement. The galaxy had been changed forever, all because a small, underestimated species refused to give up on their dreams. The future was bright, and humanity was ready to lead the way.